So one of the cool things about WordPress is that you can add users and you can have as many users as you want. So in the old days, or even before these content management systems like WordPress came around, you used to have sort of that one person that sort of responsible for everything, and that might end up being the case anyway, but at least you have the option of having all sorts of not only different users that can add content to the website, but you can also have different roles for each user, which is kind of a cool little thing. You'll see right here, I'm on the page with the users, and we have Linda here and Crystal, Donna, myself, and then Nancy are all on here as administrators. And you can see over here, and you can see what the activity that they've done. That's not really important stuff. You also see the emails here. So if you're in here as an administrator, what happens is each one of the people that when somebody either makes a comment on your blog or on your website or does any sort of thing, these people will get notified uh, as what happens. But let's go ahead and try to just add a new person here. And as administrators, you can do anything on the site. You have the top level. So we're going to add new, and then we're going to have another little menu here to fill out. As soon as it updates. Okay. So you'll see what's required is a username and email, and of course that's because the WordPress uses the email to let you know what's going on with your website, like I said before, with the comments and that sort of thing. So we're just going to put in a real quick one here and get rid of it. So user at hotmail.com, and as you can see, obviously this is not, it doesn't really matter too much here. Here's your last name, right? They don't worry about the website part. You don't even actually really need to fill those out. It's really just the first two and a password. So we're just going to say user. And it's going to give you this like warning thing here for weak. It'll take pretty much anything you put in. There's no real parameter that says, oh, you can't have a weak password. But I would suggest kind of trying to figure out one that's a little bit, at least in the medium category. So don't think it's going to be too bad of a problem with you getting hacked or anything like that. There's no sensitive information on your website, but it's just kind of a good practice to have a medium or strong website or password. So you can also have the choice to send this to your email. And then the more important thing here is the role. So as you can see, you have administrator, editor, author, contributor, subscriber, and event contributor. So these are the different levels you have, and as you can kind of guess, the administrator is the top level down to the event contributor who really can only do events, can only post events. So somewhere in the middle here, there's different parameters. I wouldn't really get too caught up in trying to distinguish who does what. I would put everybody at administrator unless there's some reason that you would not want them to be able to change things around a lot, in which case I would probably move down to more like an author area or not. The one thing you probably don't want to do the least of if you want somebody to actually put stuff on your website is to do subscriber. All the subscriber gets to do is they sort of get they have access to your page in the sense that they can see when you post new content, but they can't really add any new content. So that's probably the least. That's probably the least level I would do one of these two, probably the contributor. I believe with the contributor level, you have to one of the administrators has to approve the post or the change before they can make it, and I think even then they can only make changes to posts. And then on the author, they can author posts without having uh, administrator override, and the editor can change the pages and pretty much everything that administrator can't do except for perhaps maybe add new users or something to that effect. So if you wanted somebody to be added in, they can pretty much have access to everything, but except for adding new users, editor is probably the best way to go. Otherwise, just stick them at administrator or author. So, okay, I think that's about it. Well, we'll just go ahead and we'll just leave them as administrator. Well, actually, we'll just put them in as contributor for now. So, or let's just put them as author and see what happens. So, add new user, and it won't really do much here other than say new user created. And up here, anytime you do make any sort of change, it'll almost always pop in this particular area. Now, I encourage you guys to look at this video. I'm leaving it there for now so everybody can kind of watch it. But when you're ready to get rid of it, just hit dismiss. it goes more in depth about how to do the event calendar. So that's kind of a cool thing. But at any rate, this new user created up here, and then you can obviously edit user, and then you'll see down here it populates down here, and it puts them in as authors. So that's kind of pretty much how you do them, how you add users.